chose the two front sections diagonal as we discussed earlier. I did very small baby light highlights the closer to the hairline, and as I worked up the diagonal partings to the top, more in the fringe area, you saw me do a teasy highlight. So I'm following that similar pattern into the back section on the right side. I'm continuing to do very piecey highlights back here with thin sections in between so that we can create more heavy lightness and brightness. If you do it too fine, the brown's going to take over and the blonde would be too soft. So we're taking small sections in between so that there's more blonde. As an end result, you will continue to see a contrast between dark and light. Now once I finish the right section, I'm going over to the left section, and if you saw, I did one smack down the center. I'm going up into the corner sections of the top heading towards the crown. I'm going to do some teasy back combing here. There is a slight continual diagonal parting. I'm not doing the sections in between as small as I did the front. Front needs to be lighter, brighter, and the back can have more of a color combination between dark and light. As an end result, she's going to have a beautiful highlighted effect throughout the entire head. When you do the teasy highlight, it keeps a blurred line so there's no harsh, heavy demarcations. I personally don't like to see when the back of someone's head opens up and to see it very stripy. So it's always in the crown area and more around the fringe area where the hair splits and opens is where I have a tendency to do more teasy than just actually highlighting. I add the highlight with the tease. And I just keep continuing. Repetition is the mother of skill. Once you've practiced this over and over and over, your speed continues to pick up. And this is where I say doing real hair behind the chair, you get to make more money. By technically going back into the consultation, while I'm doing a consultation, I also am figuring out a plan in my head of how I'm going to approach each different hair color. So it's not like I do this same thing on every single client. From client to client, depending on what I'm trying to produce as an end result, I will choose different techniques. So you have your baby lights, you have your piecey highlights, you have your chunky highlights, you have your even chunkier, which is skip, slice, skip. And then you have your slices, and then your slices back to back. There's so many different ways you can go. It's you figuring out through communication with the client what their needs are and what they would like to see as an end result is how you're going and what you're going to choose as your technique through the process. Now you see I'm getting up into the crown area and I'm starting from the back and working towards the front, continuing my teasy highlight. Wherever you want the hair to be heavier and more blonde, you do thinner sections in between. Wherever you want more brown than blonde, you do thicker sections in between. So this is also a decision I make before I get started. At her roots, we want to still see depth. So we want to have more of the lightness and brightness towards the end, even heavier towards the tips of the ends. Thoroughly saturating and making sure you're using thin enough sections is key. There's no problems with keeping depth on the roots. We made that decision in the beginning of this process and having it be lighter and brighter on the end. And as you notice, as I'm getting to the top, those are the longest pieces of hair and we're through pretty much all the rest of the foils. I'm leaving them out laying flat so that they stay evenly saturated and there's no kinks in the hair from folding the foils. Down at the bottom it was shorter hair. At the top it's longer hair, so the longer hair I left open in a flat foil and laid another foil on top of it. There's no need to close them up because I won't be knocking them off or out of the hair since this is the last section I'll be working on. Reiterating, this is a hybrid highlight corrective color where someone that has very dark brown hair wants to go into a light, bright, soft blonde.